Hey, it's me. I've been feeling that there's something special about us gathering here. Even if it's just you and me, maybe a few others listening in silence. There's an energy that builds. It's not just coming from our own effort to grow and feel more, it's also from something larger. I can feel it. Like we're not doing this alone. There are other beings, some in the body, some not, that are with us when we open ourselves like this. I know that might sound strange, but I've come to trust it. And each time one of us takes a step forward, even quietly, that shift helps others too, whether they know it or not. What I want to talk about in this message is meditation. Not in the way it's usually taught, not as a technique to escape or quiet your mind. I'm talking about meditation as a living, creative process, something that moves you into alignment with the deepest parts of yourself, something that can actually change your life. The kind of meditation that I'm talking about is active. It's not about zoning out. It's about creating on purpose. Because whether we realize it or not, we're always creating. Every belief we hold, every feeling we push down, every story we tell ourselves, these are shaping our lives. Most of the time, it's happening beneath the surface. But when we start to see it clearly, we can begin to work with it instead of against it. It's not easy. We're full of contradictions. We might want something with our conscious mind, like a loving relationship or peace inside, when deep down there's fear or resistance or a belief that we don't really deserve it. That inner tug of war shows up in our lives. Things feel stuck or confusing, and we wonder why it's so hard. Real meditation starts by becoming aware of these inner splits. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts. That won't work if there's a part of you that doesn't believe them. Instead, it's about seeing what's there, what you really feel, what you really believe, and being honest with it. Then, step by step, you begin to shift from the inside out. There's something else that helps to understand. We live in a field of energy, a creative substance that responds to what we send into it. Not in a fantasy kind of way, in a deeply real one. What you hold as true, what you visualize, what you believe, it imprints into that field. It takes shape. Slowly sometimes, but surely. When your thoughts are clear and your feelings are aligned, that substance is easy to shape. It's soft, receptive. But when you're holding on to fear or pretending you're not angry when you are, that substance gets hard, brittle. It resists change. So if you want to create something different, the first step is always honesty. Face what you feel, even the parts you wish you didn't, especially those parts. That's how the walls start to soften. That's how the energy begins to flow again. There's 4 parts to this kind of meditation that I'm talking about. First, the concept, which is what you choose to bring your attention to. The second part is the impression, letting that idea sink in, letting it land. Third is visualization, feeling yourself in the state you wish to experience. And the fourth part is faith, not blind belief, a growing trust that this process is real. that it works, and that life is on your side. It doesn't always happen in order. Sometimes you sit down to meditate and you realize you don't believe what you're saying. That's good information. It means there's something deeper to explore. Maybe you're afraid of actually getting what you want. Maybe part of you is holding on to a belief that life is hard or that change isn't possible. Those moments are invitations, not failures. One of the most honest things you can do in meditation is to say, I want this, but I'm scared. Show me what's in the way. That kind of openness creates movement. That's where real help can reach you from your higher self, from life itself. Faith doesn't mean pretending you don't doubt. It means staying with the process long enough to let it show you something new. It's like planting a seed and trusting that it will grow, even if you can't see anything above the soil yet. Sometimes the answers come slowly. A thought, a feeling, something someone says that lands a little differently. You start to recognize that these are not coincidences. They're part of a living dialogue. You're not making it up, you're receiving. And that's a big shift from trying to force life to listening to it. Eventually, you'll notice that the conversation inside you changes. You start to hear more than just your ego or your fear. You start to hear something deeper, something wiser. That's your true self speaking. And over time, your ego begins to soften. It listens more. It starts to work with your deeper self instead of fighting it. You can also use meditation to speak with the parts of yourself that are still stuck. Not to shame them, to understand them. Ask your fear what it's trying to protect. Ask your resistance what it's holding on to. Let those voices speak. Then invite your deeper self to respond. You might even hear an inner dialogue. It doesn't have to be dramatic, it usually isn't. Sometimes it's just a sense, a nudge, a quiet knowing. As this process unfolds, your ego becomes more of a bridge, not something to get rid of, something that helps connect the layers of your being. And you begin to trust that you're being guided, even when it's hard, even when it's messy. There are times when this inner work speeds up. You might have dreams, synchronicities, or moments where everything feels alive. Pay attention to those. Don't panic if they're followed by confusion or resistance. That's part of the process too. Sometimes the old structures push back before they break down. That tension can feel like a crisis. It's also a turning point. Something deeper is trying to emerge. Meditation helps you ride those waves. It helps you tune in. It helps you know when to act and when to wait, when to speak and when to listen. And as you practice, it becomes less about setting aside time to meditate and more about living in that state. Your whole life becomes the meditation. You begin to notice that even your challenges are part of the path, that everything can be worked with, that the same creative energy that flows through the universe flows through you, and that you have a choice in how you meet life, with fear or with trust, with resistance or with openness. At some point, you may not even need to visualize outcomes anymore. You just know they're already in motion. You feel the yes inside you before anything has happened on the outside. That's real faith. Not because someone told you to believe, because you've lived it. You don't have to get there all at once. In different parts of your life, you might be in different stages, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep showing up, that you keep asking honest questions, that you stay in the conversation. And if you forget, come back. If you hit resistance, sit with it. If you're confused, ask for clarity. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just keep the line open. Whatever's alive in you, fear, anger, longing, grief, whatever it is, bring it into meditation. Ask what it wants to show you. Let it speak. And then ask your deeper self what it sees. That's where the healing happens. That's how the parts of you that have been at war start to come together. You don't need to fear death or life. You don't need to pretend you're not afraid. You just need to stop hiding from the part of you that already knows who you are. The part that doesn't live in fear. Because it's not trapped in separation. When you let that part lead, you're free. And if you forget again, just remember, you can always come back. Love you. Connect soon.